tell you something. There are words that Nigerians actually say that you think it means what you actually think it means. But at the end of the day, you find out that these words don't mean what you think it actually means, okay? Because words are different, okay? You hear the words, but you don't catch the vibe. You don't get the meaning of that word. And or when someone tells you that this is what it means, you end up feeling confused because you did not know that that's what that particular word actually means. So you know the words, but you don't know how to use these words in conversations. Or you've heard this word before, you know the words, but when someone uses it in conversations, or when you hear this word being used, you actually get confused, and then you miss the whole vibe. That is the point, because Nigerians don't exactly mean what they say sometimes. They don't directly tell you stuff. So if you hear the word and think this is just what it means, that is where you'll be getting it all wrong. You don't interpret things literal for Nigerians, okay? So there's a difference. You have to be able to know this difference. If not, you will end up feeling confused. And in order for you to be able to do that, you have to establish some rules that that tones determine what that word actually means. The tone, the context, and the situation. These three things determines the word, the meaning behind that word. Okay, so in different contexts, the word in particular will change. Okay, so if you're hearing it in this context, when the next place you hear it, maybe in another context or another situation, it is not what you actually think it's meant. The meaning changes. So pigeon words are flexible. Pigeon words are very, very flexible in nature, because you'll be hearing this X, Y, and Z, and then it's no, it's A, B, and C. So if you don't understand these words, you will keep feeling lost in conversations. You will keep feeling lost in different settings, and you keep feeling misunderstood. Okay, you're going to actually miss the whole vibe if you don't understand the words that are being said in conversations, or the words that are being said in that particular context or situation here rather. So there are words that you hear that you think, okay, this is what it means, but at the end of the day, you end up getting the wrong vibe, because definitely when you misunderstand what somebody is saying, you will get the whole wrong vibe as like full time. You will feel lost because you think this. I know this. I know this thing, but then when it's being said to you or when it's presented to you, like you feel off, you feel like there's something actually missing. Let me tell you a story. I know some of you have been in this situation whereby you texted someone on the phone, or you're texting someone and someone says, and the person says it's okay, and then the conversation ended, but then you felt like something is off, like you had that feeling that damn, it's not okay, because of the vibration. You're testing, but this person is telling you I'm fine, it's okay, but you know deep down that person is not okay. That is it. So with Pidgin English, that's the word. You hear it's okay, it's okay to assume that it means everything is okay, but then that is not what it means. So these words in Pidgin English, they are very, very flexible. They are very, very flexible. That is one thing I want you to note today. So whenever you're learning Pidgin English, you should understand that the words are very, very flexible. You can use it in a particular sentence and this is what it means, but then in a whole new context is a whole different vibe entirely. So when you understand this, wherever you are in a conversation with your Nigerian friends, or whenever you're in a real conversation, or even in a professional settings, you don't get the wrong vibe. You don't misunderstand what is being said. Hi, Victor. Nwabike. I think I got that correctly. Okay, so when you understand these things, it's easier to flow in conversations. So when someone is texting you, it's okay. You don't take their words literal. You don't just say, oh, you don't assume that that is what they mean. Sometimes I go ahead to ask my friend, are you sure? Like everything really did okay? So then they can go ahead and tell me, oh, this and that happened, X, Y, and Z. So I don't just take word literal, because that's what Pidgin English makes you do. Pidgin English opens your brain up to think in different ways. So you're no longer settling for one answer. You always know that this can mean this and that can mean that. That is what we're going to be doing in the life on the life today. There are some pidgin words that you've heard and you've always assumed that those words means that Nigerians are being polite with you, or those words represent someone is being calm. But in most case scenarios, it's not always true. It is not true. And I've seen this confusion over time. That is why I'm here today, so I can correct it for you guys. My name is Ezinoma, and I help foreigners understand how Nigerians actually think and speak so you don't end up feeling lost in real conversations and in professional settings. Because when you feel lost in conversation or professional settings, then I mean, at the end of the day, you did not gain anything. You did not gain anything. And yes, Pidgin English is also very, very important in professional settings. Nobody should deceive you. And if there's any person that has said Pidgin English is unprofessional, please bring them on the chat. I want to have a one-on-one talk with them. Okay, I want to have a one-on-one talk with them. Pidgin English can be used both in professional settings and in real life conversations. And in real life conversations, I'm working towards um bringing something that I can use to show every phrase that I put on here. So I'm not just explaining the words. I'm not just, spelling out the words, but you actually see it. And whenever you see these words, you'll be able to recognize that, oh, that's the word. That's the word. So I don't know why it's like that over here, but on TikTok, like it's quite easier. It's easier to do on TikTok whenever I go live on TikTok. Okay. Now, what are those words that you hear that you assume something entirely different? Okay, this life is not for everybody, but I'm ready to give you clarity if you want to. Okay, so I take my student from confusion to clarity only if you let me. Okay, so clarity is not for everybody. Clarity is not for everybody. So that's why some persons they come on the live and they click out. Okay. I'm not for everybody. So even if it's three persons that are here today on the live, I am going to teach, and by the end of the live, we're going to be leaving with something. You are going to be leaving with a clear understanding of what the word that you hear, what they actually mean, and then you will learn how you can pronounce these words because you've been seeing my post and you don't know how these words are being pronounced. And I'm here today, we're going to decode all of these things together. We're going to decode all of these words together. Now, what is the first word you hear a typical Nigerian say that you assume that this is what it means? You hear a Nigerian say no wahala, and then you just go ahead to assume that everything is fine. A classic Nigerian will always tell you no wahala. A classic Nigerian man will tell you no wahala. You will hear no wahala. No wahala is a phrase that is very, very common amongst Nigerians. And I'm sure that some foreigners have actually picked the word no wahala. You even hear it in music. Problem, they finish, try the enjoy. Oh, that's a no wahala. There's a song like that, no wahala. I think it's a song by, I don't know, Banto, something like that. I don't know. I don't know, but it's a song no wahala. So no wahala is a pidgin word that is very, very common. But if you're not careful, you will miss understand what this word actually means and you end up feeling confused. Okay, so when you hear no wahala, what comes to your mind immediately is it's okay. That is where you might be wrong. That is where you be getting it all wrong, because when you hear no wahala and you assume that it just means it's okay, then that is where the problem actually begins. Because I tell you, do not interpret words literally. Don't take the word and take this is the meaning and then leave it at that point. Okay, because words have different meaning and the word changes per the tone, per context, and situation or the relationship. Okay, so no wahala can also mean it's not okay. No wahala can mean it's not okay. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but it's not okay. You know, they okay at all. Okay. So when you hear no wahala, that person can just be saying, I don't want to talk about this matter anymore, but it doesn't mean that I'm fine with it. I'm not cool with this. Okay. I just want leave. I just want leave matter. But then they can use that no wahala because maybe they want to revisit it tomorrow. They can just say, no wahala. But then it still means that there's problem. No wahala means wahala day. That's what my friend would say. My friend would say, no wahala means wahala day. So it depends. So how do you know? How do you tell when someone is saying no wahala in terms of no problem, like it's okay, and no wahala in terms of there is problem? So if you don't understand and know this meaning, you will keep misinterpreting words. You will keep misinterpreting always peace. It is not always peace. Okay, it is not. That person at that point in time might not be negotiating for peace, but he's just trying to like, okay, some people learn to do the silent treatment. Some persons hate it. Oh my god, I hate silent treatment. Just go ahead and tell me what's up, but they will not tell you to your face sometimes. So they use the word no wahala to just just keep on arguing. In short, no wahala. In short, no wahala. But they're not cool. but they're not cool with you. They're not cool with what you said. Okay, so if you don't understand, you will think that that person is being polite and that person is being calm. But so if you don't understand this, you keep missing the words. You keep missing the words. You're missing the whole vibe. So I said no wahala, and then you assume that we're fine, that we're good, we're cool, that there's no problem. That is where you're getting it wrong. So if you don't understand this, when someone is having a banter with someone, or when you're talking with somebody, you will be able to tell. If you understand what no wahala actually means, you'll be able to tell with the context and the tone and whatnot. But if you don't know that, you will keep guessing the meaning, and then the point of the whole conversation is going to be sour, because at the end of the day, what I said, you didn't grab that. So there's misalignment between us. So I think this is this, and then you think that is that. I'm thinking X, Y, and Z. You're thinking A, B, and C. Or more problem, real time problem, and that is what actually caused misunderstanding. Okay, because what was communicated, or what was said, was not properly communicated. What was said was not properly communicated, or maybe you did not hear the words very well, or maybe you thought this was what the person was talking about. I had a battle with my sister last year, and she was saying something and I was saying mine. So we didn't catch the words that were said. So she was saying hers and I was saying mine. There was confusion. So we ended up feeling confused. Okay, and they started lashing out on each other. It was because I assumed she said this, or I interpreted what she said to mean this, whereas she wasn't saying anything like this at all. But since there was the misconception, since there was this misunderstanding between us, it went it, it escalated. Okay, I was looking for the word, so it escalated. So if you don't understand the words, you will miss the whole vibe, and you will be in the conversation, but you're not part of that conversation, because what was said, you did not catch that. And they'll be like, oh, I just told her something and then she went ahead to do this. So you have to understand what no wahala stands for, so you don't go outside and embarrass yourself, so you don't have that social awkwardness, so you're able to tell immediately, Coach Gino said this. Coach Gino said no wahala doesn't actually mean it's okay all the time. So you listen for tone, you listen for the situation, you check the context. Who is saying it? What is the tone like? Is that person, all calm, shoulder down? Like, what is the person feeling, or how does the person feel? Because if you don't do all of those fact checks, you will assume the wrong thing. If you don't do the fact check, you will always assume the wrong thing. So no wahala doesn't always mean peace. Okay, it doesn't always mean peace. It might be something else entirely. If you take this meaning literal, if you take this word literal, you misinterpret it. Okay, you miss the meaning completely about the word. Thank you so much, baby boy. Check for facial expression. It is very important. Facial expression, the tone as well affect the facial expression, because there is no way you be angry and be speaking so softly. There is no way a person is angry and be speaking so softly. The facial expression will change, and even if that person is calm, the tone will change. Okay, so the tone is not about you shouting, but the tone of that person will change because that person is not happy. So it's not okay. Okay, your baby saying I'm fine. You wake up in the morning, literally, you look at your wife, you look at your girlfriend, you look at your man, and then you see his facial expression, you see his whole body language, and then you say, how far? Waiting they happen. And then she said, I know, I'm fine. I'm fine. But deep down that something is off, because look at that facial expression. Look at his facial expression. He's not giving the I'm fine vibe. He's looking, he's saying he's fine. His words don't match his expression. So Nigerians would not tell you it's okay directly sometimes. They would like to hide on the words. Good afternoon, sweetheart from Paris. How are you doing? Hi, Fred. I'm Moa. I don't know. Confusing with names. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So you can be hearing the words, but you're seeing something else happening in real time. That is why knowing the words are not enough. If you as a person don't speak to your boss the same way you speak to your friends, why do you think that just knowing the words is okay? Why do you think it's okay to just know the word? Okay, everybody can know the word, but not everybody can understand the meaning of that word. Everybody can know the word, but not everybody will understand the meaning of the word, and even understanding it to the point to actually use it in a sentence or understand when these words are being used. I don't know whether you're following me or not. I don't know whether you're following me or not. Let me tell you something. The way that I speak to my friend is not the same way I speak to my boss. Because I can speak to my friend some type of way and then you understand now we're friends. She would not take it personal. But if I go ahead to say that same word to my boss, what is going to happen? What, I'm going to be fired the next minute. I'm losing my job. I'm losing my job. I'm losing my job the next minute. Because what my friend can take or what my friends can take with my words, my boss would not be able to handle them. So knowing the pidgin words are not enough. Thank you so much, Clifton. Clifton. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with pronouncing it. Bad. Okay. And then you might think, oh, so much hassle just to learn pidgin. Pidgin is very easy. You don't need 6 months to learn how to speak pidgin English. You only need the right breakdown. You only need the right breakdown. And let me tell you, it's not actually easy. It's not so rosy for anyone to do something that is really, really cool. Okay, but you can make it interesting. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something you don't know about yourself. Okay, I want you to listen attentively. You as a person, like you don't get up in the morning and feel excited to go and brush your teeth. You don't wake up. I don't see anybody wake up and feel, oh my god, I'm so excited to go and brush my teeth. Oh my god, happiness for my body. I don't go brush my teeth. I've never seen it before. I never see him at all. At all. I never see him before. I never see him before. You brush your teeth for the transformation. You don't brush your teeth because you like to. Oh my god, I love the toothbrush. Or I love the toothpaste. Morning. Some people do it morning, evening. You brush your teeth, but you brush it because when you go out, you want to be perceived some type of way. You want people to see you as a clean person. You want people to perceive you as someone that they can talk to. You don't want social awkwardness and embarrassment. They'll be like, oh, his mouth is smelling. Her mouth is smelling. Her mouth they smell. Her mouth they So you learn pidgin English to save you from future embarrassment. So you learn pidgin English because of you don't want to be misread by the room. You want to walk into any room and and have conversations and be and be proud. You want to walk into the Nigerian airport and have conversations so people don't feel like you are JJC, a Johnny just come. That is why you do it. You do it for so many reasons. Some even do it to impress their babes. I mean, I'm really so proud of that. When people DM me, send me direct messages and tell me, coach, I want to learn pitch English so I can impress my babe, or I'll be coming to Nigeria for work, for business. That is all good. That is all good. And if you keep coming and clicking out, oh, I'm gonna learn pitch English tomorrow, or maybe I won't be coming here. Who knows who you're gonna get married to? What if your next business trip is gonna be to Nigeria? Okay, so you're not doing it for itself, you're doing it for the transformation. You're doing it because of the value that it is. Because if a language that over 1 million people speak and you think it's not that important, it's much of a big deal, brother. Sister, now big deal for here. Okay, so there are words that you think that it actually means that that person is being polite, but it's not actually the case. There's another case scenario I'm going to paint with for you using this pidgin expression, and then you think that, oh, you got me there, you got me there. A classic pidgin phrase that you always hear Nigerians say is abeg. Abeg. Abeg is spelled ABEG. 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 So when you hear abeg, everyone definitely will have their mindsets up with as please. Okay. So everyone just quickly interpret, oh, abeg, please. Please. That is the thing you usually just go for. But sometimes you can be wrong. You can be wrong. Okay. Abeg is not just please, okay? So I told you, look out for context, look out for tone, look at the person that's saying it. Okay? Just like baby boy said, facial expression. So when you hear abeg, it's not sometimes it's not them being polite at all. So if you hear abeg and you automatically assume politeness and friendliness, or politeness or calmness, or someone is actually pleading, then you are wrong. Now, what is it that you're supposed to do when you hear the word abeg, or what is the meaning? You might be you'll be asking me right now, okay, Zino, so what do you mean? What do you mean when someone says abeg? What is the person trying to say? It depends. Okay, pidgin is flexible. You can hear abeg, but in that abeg, it's just interpreted as a soft request. One, soft request, which is one. Secondly, it can be a form of dismissal, like omo abeg comot for here. That is not politeness. So when you hear abeg, don't immediately assume Nigerians are being polite. So in okay, don't immediately assume and take the word literally, because they can mean a soft request, a plea, they're asking for your help sincerely to do something. Or it could mean, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? I don't fuck with you. Shifts. Okay, it can be a soft dismissal. Somebody just telling you, I beg, come off my face, come off for here, come off for here. Just go away. Go away. So maybe you tell them something, they immediately just say, I beg, I beg. So they immediately just say that word to you, I beg, I beg. Like they're just trying to like shut you out. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Being calm. Don't always assume that that person is being calm. Okay? It's not always politeness. It can also be a form of pressure. It can also be a form of pressure. So a beg can also be a form of pressure. A beg. Like you're frustrated. So it can be used to express emotional frustration, because frustration is an emotion. And then somebody tells you that, oh, you did this thing wrong. I be like, I beg, like I'm tired, I beg, I don't tire, you know. So right now, no one is saying please in this context. Different, right? I just opened your eyes to see the different lights of a beg. Okay, so it's like chopping an onion, or it's like I think it's an onion. When you open it, you keep seeing, inside the different layers, and then you're, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, especially when you're slicing an onions. Nigeria goes in onions. Singular, plural, no, they are mouth. We say onions. Onions. Typical Nigerians will say onions. Okay, so there are layers to this. So you could be thinking this is this, but no, it's not that at all. It's different. So abeg can mean three things. Abeg can mean a soft request. Someone is trying to dismiss you, secondly. And then thirdly, what is the third one? Frustration. Emotional frustration. So I can use abeg to express that I'm frustrated about the particular thing. Maybe I'm using, maybe currently Nigeria now is kind of like crazy, okay, with the light and all that. Maybe you're currently on something on your computer, and then the light just goes off. You're like, I beg, like I was almost done with this, but look at what just happened. Like all my work, all what I've suffered for, labored for, has gone to waste. Has gone to waste. Like almost. So I've been all I've been typing is for waste. Okay, so I can use abeg to express my frustration. So in this context, I'm not asking anybody for help right now. So if you don't understand what they mean, the different meaning, you keep misinterpreting words, you miss the whole vibe, and you will not be part of that conversation. And then you feel like, oh, they're trying to avoid me, but no, because you don't understand what is being said. You don't understand the words and how they can be used. This is helpful because when you're interacting with your friends, when you come to Nigeria, when somebody says something, you don't misinterpret the wrong thing. When you know the right thing that that person just said, it feels so much ease for you, because immediately you grab it, you concur, and then the conversation goes on. You're no longer dragging things, so it's easy. Okay, because when you don't understand, it feel like it's dragging you back, and then you're like, waiting they happen. I think this one is this one, but sometimes it's not what it means. So you have to listen for context as well. Now, What is the third phrase we're going to be dealing with today? Nigerians, you will hear them say some words, and then you will think that there's an emergency or there's a serious problem. Oh my god, because you heard the word and you just immediately freeze. And then you're like, what did they happen? What did they really did happen? Okay, some words that Nigerians say, it always makes them assume that something bad is actually happening. There's an emergency, or someone's trying to do something very disastrous. But no, it's just a phrase, okay? Okay, so it's more like an exaggeration. So Nigerians, they exaggerate a lot as well. So when you hear this word, you don't need to panic, you don't need to rush and oh my god. Calm down, okay? Cool your temper. Because when they say these words, it doesn't actually mean what is like the literal word. It doesn't actually mean what is said, what is being said. So if you take this word and you interpret it to mean this is the thing, you start to panic, and then everybody looking at you because you actually feel awkward. Everybody's looking at you like, this is what he said. Why is he furious? Why is he getting mad? Why is he getting frightened? Why is he scared? So when you know the particular meaning of the word, your nervous system relaxes. And then you're like, okay, I know the word, no shaking, we did here. There is so much confidence that's going to exude from you. Like you're going to have so much confidence. So even when you're in that room, when somebody says something, you're grasping, you're clocking it. Yes, that's a word. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. No one wants to go into a conversation. No one wants to go outside and feel embarrassed. That's why we do what we do. That's why we take our time to learn, to study, to whatever. So when we go to the exam hall, we don't fail. Okay. Now what is that one word you hear? You hear the word, I cannot come and kill myself. I cannot come and kill myself. Sometimes they'll say, I can't come and kill myself. I cannot come and kill myself, kill myself. There's a song like that. Make another man come chop my sweat. Afrobeats. I think it was Naira Marley that sang that song, Abby. I don't know, I don't remember. Okay, so when you hear I cannot come and kill myself, you are thinking murder. You are thinking suicide. Abi, is it murder or suicide? Which one? So you're thinking someone is about to kill themselves. But no, no one is killing anybody. No one is killing anybody. Okay, so when you hear I can't come and kill myself, the lady or the whoever said it is not saying I want to kill myself, or I'm about to kill myself, or something bad is about to happen, or something drastic is about to happen. No. Okay, so don't take the word and interpret it literally. So when you hear someone say I cannot come and kill myself, don't be scared. Don't be frightened. Okay? There's no harm to that. I trust me. Nigerians, they like to exaggerate a lot. So you'll be thinking now, okay, so what is the meaning of this word then? If I cannot kill myself, literally doesn't mean someone is trying to choke on herself or trying to hang herself up or himself up. So what are they trying to say exactly? You might be thinking, what is the meaning behind the word? I'm about to show you the meaning of this word. Okay, it's very simple. Trust me. And then when you hear the meaning, you're going to be like, really? Because I'm about to open your eyes to see the meaning of these Nigerian words. So when you hear them in conversation, when you hear them on TikTok live, when you hear them on TikTok videos, when you see someone make comments about it, or maybe when your fiance make comments about it, you're not confused. You're not confused. Now, what is this word when you hear the word? When you hear the word, I can't come and kill myself, I cannot come and kill myself, that person is just literally saying, I'm not about to stress myself so much about this thing. I'm not about to beat myself up about this particular thing. If it's not working, it's not working, but I cannot come and kill myself. It means I cannot overly stress myself about this thing. It's not working, fine. Okay, I cannot do too much. Okay, I will not, bother myself too much about it. I will let it flow. Whatever will be, will be. So when you hear I cannot come and kill myself, literally that is what they're talking about. No one is about to die. It's not a murder case. No one's about to kill themselves. What's it called? It's not suicide. Okay, there's no suicide mission there. I don't know if it's suicide. I feel like it's suicide. Okay. Okay. So when you hear I cannot come and kill myself, you don't go panicking. You don't go assuming that person wants to do something bad to themselves. Sometimes I feel like when I type that word on TikTok tell me safety rules. They be like block some words and they say trying to keep our community safe, whatever, whatever. No, it doesn't mean what it says. So you don't take pidgin words and interpret them literally. Okay. You don't take pidgin words and interpret them literally. I've talked about three pidgin words on this live. Okay, I've talked about no wahala. I've talked about our beg, and I've also talked about I cannot come and kill myself. Okay, I cannot teach you everything on this life. Everything that I say here, I cannot exactly teach you everything on this life. Okay, because we have, I barely take an, okay. I spend just an hour on the life. Okay, so 1 hour is not enough to teach you all of these pidgin phrases. Don't worry, I still have time here. So 1 hour is not enough to teach you all of these pidgin phrases. Okay, 1 hour is not enough. So I break all of these phrases down using the link in bio. Just click on the link in bio, you get full access to all of these words that I'm teaching you. So you're no longer feeling confused, you're no longer feeling lost. It's going to be like more like your map. You look at it all the time, say, okay, this is what it means. So when you master these words, you become acquainted with these words. It's so much easier. It's so much easier, okay? So when you know these words for sure, wherever you go to, you will always command respect. You always command the room because you know what you're saying. No one will treat you as an outsider. Everyone will look at you and embrace you because you are not an outsider. You are an insider. You know the words. You get the real gist. You get the whole vibe. So coming to Nigeria and then welcoming you is not enough. Knowing how to use these words, okay, knowing their culture and actually flowing with them, that is the key. That is the key. That is the main key, okay? Trying to catch my breath. Okay, I'm gonna teach you two more pidgin phrases. Two more pidgin phrases that you think is actually them being polite. Two more pidgin phrases. What are these two more pidgin phrases that you hear and you assume this is what it means, but at the end of the day, you end up feeling confused because I've sat down with Nigerians, I've heard them in conversations. When they say this word, they don't exactly mean what they say. Okay? They don't exactly mean what they say. So you are hearing the words and then you're confused. That's why I'm teaching you this word so you know, understand and know them. So when you're using them in sentences or when someone uses them, you're not confused. The fourth word you hear when you hear a typical Nigerian say, when you hear a typical Nigerian say, I go call you, I go call you, I go call you, or I go call you back. That is not a follow up. That is not a follow up. So when you hear the way you're patiently waiting, okay, you're waiting. 1 hour is gone. 2 hours, 3 hours, and then you're wondering what is the problem. This person told me it's not a promise. So I will call you back to a typical Nigerian is not a promise. Okay. So this pidgin word is not someone trying to promise you something. Because if you don't understand this word, you always misinterpret it. You think that this is the thing, but that is not the deal. So you don't go waiting for hours and nothing is happening. There's silence everywhere. So when you don't understand it, you keep getting confused because the person words doesn't match the meaning. Okay, so you take the meaning, you take the words, and you don't assume the meaning. Okay, because you hear the words and then you think that's what it means, but Nigerians don't actually mean what they say. So when you hear "I go call you back" to a typical Nigerian, it's not a promise. They're not promising you anything. Okay, it's not even a follow up that okay, I'm going to follow up with this call. Okay, so when my friend drops a call and then she says I will call you back, I will call you back, I will not be waiting for her call because it's not a promise. Okay, it just means that I hear you. Okay, I'm clicking off right now, so I can call you back. It's literally them just saying, okay, I will, we'll talk later. We'll talk some other time. Okay, it's just them, ending the conversation. Ending the conversation. It's not a promise. They're literally, and because when you expect them to call you back, they will not call you back. So it's them literally just saying that I will talk to you some other time or we will connect some other time, not expecting them to call you the next moment or the next 2 hours. Okay, so you don't misunderstand these words. Okay, so so you can use I go call you back or I go call you in terms of like you're ending the conversation. Okay, there's you guys are done talking. Even if you're not done talking, that is the way of just them clicking off without them telling you like literally that I'm clicking off. or I'm not sure I'm going to call you back. So don't expect it from them. It's not a promise. If you don't understand this word, you keep getting misunderstood. Even in a professional setting, someone is like, I will get back to you. Especially when they use the word sha. I will call you back sha. Or more would they see as it go be sha. Please, please look out for the context. This one is not even context. You're not even looking out for the context again because they're literally telling you to your face. Okay, that's why I made a video where I said Nigerians don't actually don't say no literally. You don't hear Nigerians say no because they're trying to not hurt your feelings. They're trying not to hurt your feelings. So they don't say no. They don't tell you no to your face exactly. But there are some words that they use to explain or to tell you that they're actually declining. But they will not tell you exactly that no, no. Okay. So Nigerians they're all about community, community minded. They're not trying to hurt your feelings. They're trying to be mindful with their words. Okay, it's not like English. Okay, that English literally tell you no, no is no. You okay, but they will not tell you no. Sometimes they'll tell you don't come back. Okay, it might be them just dismissing you immediately, but they will not tell you the way you want to hear it. Okay, they won't tell you because they're trying to protect your feelings. They care about the relationship. They care about you, so they will not tell you to your face like that. So it takes your ability to be able to understand these words. That's why you are on live with Coach Zino. So I can explain these words to you, so I can decode these Nigerian words to you. So when you go out there, you're not confused. When the man is saying this, this is what it actually means. You immediately clock it. Your brain immediately go back to this life and say, okay, this is what it means. So this is this. No wahala is not this. Okay, I beg is, you know, it's so much easier when you have someone to guide you and to show you that this is the way, because you won't find it anywhere else. They will not tell you that this is that. They will end up confusing you. Okay, so you don't feel confused. Okay, because some people decide to stay confused. It's their decision. It's not my decision. Some people decide to stay confused, while others decide to gain clarity. But you cannot do both. You cannot both be confused and have clarity. So you choose one. And obviously we're all going for clarity always, always. I always advocate for clarity. Now what is the last one you actually hear? What is the last reading word you hear and then you assume, okay, that's the conclusion, but it's not exactly what is concluded? When you hear this word, make we dey see as e go be, or we go see sha. Especially when you hear this word sha is not, I will not say sha is a negative word, but when you hear sha, you have to be very, very careful. You have to be very, because if you're not very, very careful, you will assume the wrong thing. Sha is more like no. Sha is not a good word. If someone tells you I'm fine, sha, it means that person is not fine. Sha is quite the opposite. So when you hear someone says we go see sha, make we dey see as e go be sha. Make we dey see sha. They're not telling you to put your mind on it. Just forget about it. Forget about it. We go see sha. Forget about it. Just move on, okay? They're just trying to tell you that it's not happening. They're basically trying to tell you that it's not happening. So when you think about it and then you say, okay, and this person said we go see Sha, maybe your contractor or an investor in Nigeria, and then the person says we go see Sha, and then you're assuming that that person will get back to you. Just forget about it. Stop guessing and move on, because 9 out of 10 times they're actually dismissing you. They're actually saying, not interested. If I want to decline my friend going to a party or something, I'll just tell you, we go see Sha, or make we dey see as it go be. There's no guarantee. There is no guarantee. Okay, you might choose to follow up, which is actually not bad at all. But sometimes they're actually telling you not to pursue. They're not trying to pursue that thing. Okay? So they can be telling you, forget about it. This is not going to happen. Zero chances of this happening, or 1% chance of this happening. So if you don't understand that, you keep waiting for waiting sake. You keep expecting something and it's not happening. And then you're like, oh my god, they're polite people. I just pitched my deal to this, so, and then he says we go see Sha, and then I'm so happy, like we're about to get this going. but they're not saying that. That is not what they mean entirely. So when you fail to understand this, you always misread the room. You always misread the word. What are some Nigerian words that you've heard that you assume it means this thing, but doesn't mean what you actually think it means? Have you ever heard a Nigerian word and then you are confused about that word? Let's talk about it today. Because that is the thing. So I break all of this thing down in my link in bio, okay? You will always find it on the link in bio. So when you hear this word, you don't assume, you're not confused, okay? I cannot teach you all of these words in 30 minutes. That's why you can always check the link in bio. I fully break this down in my system. You can always find it there, okay? So when you know this word, you start using them with so much confidence. You're no longer confused in conversations, even in real life conversations, when you go to the market, even in professional settings. So without knowing these words, without understanding these words, you'll be confused. So knowing words are not enough. So when you know the words and you will learn to use them properly in conversations. Because why do you cook food and you test that food before you serve it to your guests? It's because you don't want to serve them rubbish. You don't want to serve a food that is so salty. You don't want to serve a food that is too spicy. That's why you test your food. It's the same thing with Pidgin English. Because you don't want to do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing to people. That's why you learn how to speak Pidgin English. You don't learn it because you want to learn it. You learn it based on the value, based on the people you want to interact with, based on what you stand to gain. So nobody is doing something for the fun of it. Most people don't like saving their money. Okay, if I have money, I like to spend it on what I want to buy. The same thing with you. You want when you get that money, you want to buy that bag, you want to buy that thing you'll be saving money for, but you save for future purposes. Mm-hmm. You don't save. Nobody save money because they enjoy doing so. So how are the things you learn in this life not because you enjoy it, but because it's necessary? So pidgin English is necessary. If a country of about over 1 million people speak that language, do you see that it's so important? Okay, so don't take words at face value. Don't take words as face value. Learn to always interpret them using the tone, the context, the situation. Who is the person saying it? What does this word mean? How does this facial expression look like? Because without it, you keep misreading the room. My name is Zino, and I help foreigners understand how Nigerians actually think and speak so you don't end up feeling lost in real conversation in professional settings. If you want more words like this, I want you to comment Pidgin down below this video. And if you're confused, you need help, maybe it's your first time you want to actually learn the language so you familiarize yourself more with the language and understand what people actually say when I say these words, check the link in bio, guys. See, you can either choose confusion or clarity, but with me, you will always choose clarity. With me, there's always going to be clarity, except you want to deliberately choose to be confused. Okay, so clarity is always there. Okay, clarity is always there. So check the link in bio and take out that confusion and start using these words with so much confidence. So you dive deep into Nigerian culture, so you understand the words that are being said. So you're no longer misread. So when you speak the words, you're not just speaking the words, you're commanding the room. Because I beg is not just a word, okay? So I beg is not just, please, begging. I beg can actually mean control because I beg, please do something for me. I beg, help me carry this thing. You're trying to control that person, not in a bad way, okay? Don't misread what I said. So basically, that's just all there is. So if you have questions, if you have maybe you want to talk to me one on one, just check my link in bio and text me, send me an email or whatever. You always find my contact using the link in bio. You'll find more of these pidgin words that I've broken down today. We talk about 5 interesting pidgin words, so you can find more using the link in bio. I cannot exactly teach all of this in 30 minutes on the live. Okay. So that is all there is for today. If you're yet to follow me, subscribe, guys. We're manifesting 500 followers this week, and I'm gonna be ensuring that we get it. So let's do this together as a tribe, okay? Let's do this together. So if you're yet to subscribe so that whenever I come on the live, you always get notified that I'm on the live. And whenever I post videos, you get to see them and you get to watch, you get to learn for yourself. Because if you want to actually grow, to learn a language or to familiarize yourself with a particular language, you have to learn to be around that language. You have to learn to be around people that speak that language and tools and resources that enable you to learn it very, very well. Because without that, you always be on one side. So I hope that today you've been able to you'll be able to go back with something. So we talk about 5 pidgin words. I beg. No wahala. We go see Sha. I know if you kill myself, I cannot come and kill myself. Typical Nigerians, okay? Nobody's talking about suicide mission. There's no suicide mission, okay? So if you're here to subscribe, do what to subscribe, okay? I always come on the live here to teach this word, to decode this Nigerian words with you, so you're no longer feeling confused. So when you come to Nigeria for your business, for whatever is bringing you here, you speak with so much confidence. You carry yourself with so much pride. And again, guys, I will see you in my next live. I'll see you in my next video. Okay. Bye. Stay blessed always. And then you can always find me on every of my social media platform on at Ezinoma. Okay. So even if you can actually go ahead to look me up on Google. Ezinoma. Ezinoma. Okay. On TikTok, Ezinoma. On YouTube, Ezinoma. Even if you go on LinkedIn and type Ezinoma, you find me there. Okay. So guys, stay blessed. And until I come your way again, another episode of the life. Don't forget to keep watching out. So when you subscribe, you get to see me more often. But if you don't subscribe, I don't know what's gonna happen. You might not see me. All right, guys. Bye.